Hello, hello, hello. This is Councilwoman Tina, and I wanted to come on and give you guys some updates from our meetings today with our delegates and senators. Um, I am joining Voices for in a campaign for a trauma-informed Virginia, Racial Truth and Reconciliation Advocacy Day. I wanted to give you guys some updates for our meeting this morning. We were able to meet with Delegate Weilet. That was our 8 o'clock meeting. He received our thoughts and views and are asking to support several bills. One was recognizing race as a public health crisis. That's a bill that's been presented and introduced through Delegate Aird. So we're asking for support for that bill. The other is support for the trauma-informed community networks, and he was very receptive and said that he would be supporting both bills. So we were excited about that meeting, our 8 o'clock meeting. Our 9:15 meeting, which turned out to be 10 because she had another meeting, but we did meet with her at 10 o'clock to discuss several topics that impact our families and youth here in Virginia. So that was talk with our policymakers to help influence the way that they vote and priorities that they may not have had on the radar. I'd like to also say that we're all part of the Racial Truth and Reconciliation Advocacy Day with the Campaign for a Trauma-Informed Virginia. All of the speakers today and all of the people that are sharing their lived experiences, we are as one, wanting to influence policy and change. And sometimes policy and change comes through people being able to hear another perspective and topics and issues that are important to others. So, I thank you to everybody that came out today that's joining us to share their views. Also, as I mentioned, we are asking people on all of the delegates to support Delegate Ayer's resolution to declare racism as a public health crisis. This resolution passed the House Rules Committee on January 22nd. When it comes to the House floor next, the delegates are asking for our votes for this. So this is not a Senate version for Senator Donovan, but we want to make this. We wanted to make him aware of this. This is something that's important to us. Also, we're asking for help to fund the community partnerships through the Family and Children's Trust, which is FACT. And that FACT money helps, those FACT monies help the trauma-informed community networks, which there are 27 trauma-informed community networks across Virginia. I'm Just Me Movement, a nonprofit organization that I founded in 2013, is the convener for the Watican or the Winchester Trauma-Informed Community Network. Those monies will help support our efforts through awareness campaigns and supports that will help our youth and families process through trauma. And so those monies are very important. Also, addressing unintentional biases that can lead to additional trauma for children. We know that trauma comes in different shapes and forms. There isn't just adverse childhood experiences, but trauma, it also includes environmental, catastrophic, cultural as well, and also community-based trauma. So we wanted to be mindful and remind our policy voters and in the General Assembly that we need support on these issues. There are several bills that we are supporting collectively. Some of those involve foster care priorities. We are asking for support for Ken First, which is bill number HB 1962. This is a bill that's before Delegate Goditis. It requires local departments of social services and licensed children agencies to involve the development of child's foster care plan, to help kin who are interested in the child's welfare. The bill requires that a child 12 years or age or older that's involved in the development of their foster care plan, that they do receive some funding. We also are asking for support of the state-funded kinship guardianship assistance program. That is State Bill 1328. That is going to be before Senator Mason, and this is going to create a state-funded kinship guardianship assistance. I know even through the children that I serve currently through e-mentoring and in-person support for our families that are have experienced primary and secondary trauma. A huge majority of those are grandparents that are actually raising their grandchildren, their blood grandchildren. And they need support with this. So we're asking for this State Bill 1328 to be voted on and accepted. It also will the state-funded kinship guardianship assistant program will facilitate child placements with relatives, including fictive kin, and ensure that permanency for children is a priority. The bill set before eligibility criteria for the program, payment allowances to the kinship guardians, and requirements for kinship guardianship assistance agreements. So we're asking for support. We also want them to prioritize access to child care assistance for children at risk of entering foster care. We want them to bring social supports to the kinship diversion plan and to eliminate barriers to kinship caregivers becoming licensed foster care parents by amending the barrier crime statute. Also requesting that the Commission on Youth and study workforce outcomes for youth in care. What we're asking for is we want to make sure that the Governor's Children's Cabinet is permanent. We want them to fund doula services through Medicaid. We want to fund home visiting services. We want them to fund Virginia Helping Everyone Access Services, which is the HEALS program. We do want to expand paid leave options. We want to strengthen safety net resources for families such as TANF, cash assistance, child care subsidies, and SNAP nutrition benefits. We all know that COVID-19 has exposed several food insecurities for youth and families. And so those SNAP benefits are crucial to families that have no longer have that income coming in because they've been laid off or for any other reason. We want people to not be hungry. We also want to fund expansion of the number of retailers who will provide access to nutritious fruits and vegetables and SNAP incentives in underserved communities. So those are several other priorities here, and it's important that we as constituents join the General Assembly to let them know where we stand on these issues and how important it is to provide support during this very difficult time. So those are some of our updates. The next and final meeting today will be with Delegate Van Valkenburg. He will be meeting with us at 11 o'clock, and I'll give you guys an update after that. But I do want to let you know that the General Assembly meets in the month of January. So for this whole 30 days, they'll be, knocking some of these things down. Some of these things that are very important to us will go through, and some of those things that there may be things that will not go through as well. But we do want them to start checking those boxes and hearing our voices and listening to constituents in regards to these very important matters. So I will keep you guys updated and abreast on what's going on and as things unfold. Again, our last meeting today for the campaign for a trauma-informed Virginia Racial Truth and Reconciliation Advocacy Day. Our final meeting will be at 11 o'clock. And I do want to thank Voices for Virginia's Children for the very critical work that they do and advocating for our children of Virginia. So I will put the link below so that you guys can stay on top of the progress of these House bill and Senate state bills that are being introduced. And that way you guys can, and hopefully next year I'd love to have some of you guys join in the Advocacy Day. You know, we've got artists and poets and spoken word, and it's very powerful, you know, what we've been able to do as a collective. But Voices for Virginia's Children also has launched last year the first Racial Truth and Reconciliation Virginia event. And it went quite well with Governor Northam, and we look forward to his support again this year. So anywho, you guys have a wonderful day. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys at 11 o'clock or a little after.